This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's community access radio station Plains FM 96.9 and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
Coming up next, it's Studimonia, discussion and stories about living well in New Zealand from international students across Canterbury.
Supported by the Ministry of Education.
It's now time for the International Students Christchurch Association.
Kia ora everyone, welcome to I.S.C.A. radio show. Today our first guest is Sakshi. She's one of the executive members of I.S.C.A., the International Students Christchurch Association, and today she came to share with us some of her experience as an international student and specifically to talk about the video that she has uploaded talking about the things she wished she knew before coming to study abroad. So, hi Sakshi, welcome to the I.S.C.A. program.
Hi Caroline, thanks for inviting me.
Well, we would like to know where are you from, how long have you been in New Zealand, and what have you been studying doing since?
Oh, yeah, simple. I'm from New Delhi, that is the capital of India. And I have been in New Zealand for more than 3 years. I think it's 3.5 years now. And I have studied twice in New Zealand. First, I studied in CPIT, which is now known as ARA Institute. I studied ICT. I did a postgraduate diploma in ICT. And then I just recently graduated with a diploma in Business and Enterprise Management from Abacus. So, yeah, I just graduated last month. So, pretty new out of studies.
Wow, congratulations for your graduation. And now I would like to ask you about the video you have made on YouTube. Please share with us some of them.
Yeah, I recorded it 2 years ago and just recently uploaded it. Its title is Things I Wish I Knew Before Coming Abroad to Study. So it relates with students that are leaving their home country behind and going into a very different culture and a very foreign country, and the problems or issues that they face and how to get out of those issues. So I think there are 5 issues that I discuss in that video. It's been shared in the I.S.C.A. Facebook page, the International Students Christchurch Association page. So if you want to check it out, you should be able to find it there. I've got really good responses for the video. I didn't know that it would do this good, but yeah, I got really good responses for that.
Well, I loved the video, and that's why I invite you to come here today. And could you please tell us the first thing you wish you knew before coming to New Zealand?
Yeah, so a lot of things have changed now since that video was recorded a couple of years ago. So as of now, if you ask me, something that I wish I knew before coming here would be like me, everybody's here to get something done, to make something of themselves. Because we as migrants, we are under a lot of criteria. We have to pass a threshold. We have very limited time to prove ourselves, not to forget the money that our parents invested in us, and having this very short time to prove ourselves by getting a job or getting sponsored or something like that. Not that it's a bad thing, but I wish I knew that some people go to any length to get their job done. And that any length would be being selfish, using people, lying, etc. I wish I knew to be aware of just these people in general, because not everybody is like this. But during my time, I got in contact with a lot of them. So yeah, just to be aware of people, whether they have your good in their mind or not. Otherwise, they would just step on you on their way if they have to. So I guess that would be something that would be number 1 in my list if I have to tell it to you now.
Okay, so now could you tell the other things that you have talked in your video. I think they are really important to all of us.
Yeah, I talked about 5 things. So the first one was about studying the curriculum, the syllabus, the way assessments are taken. That is very different in different countries. So it's like really different from what I was used to since the last 12 to 15 years that I studied back home. And yeah, I wish I had researched about the study pattern, the curriculum, and any and everything that is related to studies and how it's done in New Zealand. The second thing was the culture shock, which was a big one for me. The culture in New Zealand is so different. The Maori culture and Samoan culture and everything. It's so fascinating. It's so good. But in the very beginning, I was like so confused. So, yeah, I wish I was prepared for the culture shock. That was the second thing I talk about. The third thing was stereotyping. I talk about how if I'm from India, I would be considered that I always eat curries, and someone from Italy, they're always presumed to be eating pastas and everything. So yeah, third thing I was talking about was stereotyping in my video. Fourth was really interesting. It was dating. How people perceive dating in foreign countries. And yeah, I guess that's what I remember now. And the last thing was the memories. The last point that I discuss in my video is not to expect anything and not to plan, stress yourself out to plan something, because the best memories are actually unexpected. And for my whole 3.5 years, I can definitely vouch for that. Every precious memory, everything that I have precious to me was never planned. It was always unexpected. And yeah, the last 3.5 years were a bumpy ride for me. It was a roller coaster. Some experiences were really, really, really good, but some experiences were really, really, really bad. But I'm grateful for everything because what I am right now, I really like this person, and what I have become now would have not been possible without the experiences that I had here. So yeah, I'm really grateful for what I've become, what New Zealand has given me, what this experience has made me. Really grateful for that.
Okay, I'd like to know now that do you believe it would have done any difference to you if you knew about those things before coming to New Zealand?
Yeah, I think if I had been prepared for it, it might have made some change, but I don't think it would have made any major difference in what I experienced or whatever I went through. Even if I was prepared for it, even if I had researched a lot about New Zealand's culture or curriculum or study pattern or anything that is being followed here, it wouldn't have made much difference because I just would have known about it if I had researched about it, but I wouldn't have experienced it. So something that you know about and something that you experience, it's like a lot of difference between these two. So yeah, it wouldn't have made much difference.
Thank you for sharing with us your experience. And before you go, do you have any information from I.S.C.A to the students that are listening to us right now?
Yeah, I actually do. I wanted to inform the students who are listening this right now that we have an event coming up next Saturday, which is the 28th of July. And Sahayata Group is organizing a free workshop. That's the event. And it's organizing it in association with our I.S.C.A committee, which is the International Student Christchurch Association. We call it ISCA in short, ISCA. And this event starts at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning so that it's easy for the students to attend. And it will finish at 3:30 p.m. So during this workshop, we will have speech from a licensed immigration advisor. We're going to have representatives from Citizens Advice Bureau and also the Christchurch City Council. So the speeches that they'll be giving will broadly cover employment, time management, and driving in New Zealand, which is like really important. We have so many different rules. And also, a side note that we only have limited seats. As a matter of fact, the last thing I know, I think we have just 5 left. So whoever wants to grab a seat, you can email to our association email address, which you'll find on our Facebook page, which is the International Students Christchurch Association, and we call it I.S.C.A. ISCA, or you can email to i.s.c.a.christchurch@gmail.com. And yeah, I hope I see some of the people there. It's going to be really, really helpful for us.
Wow, thank you for the information. And before you go, would you like to request any song?
There's this song which is really close to my heart and I relate to it on so many levels. It's a song about a person, his journey when he's heartbroken, sad, alone, and he blames the world for his unhappiness. And the song ends on the note when he realizes that the only person that he needs for his happiness is he himself. And I want everybody who listens to this song to know that you do not need any friend, family, or anyone to make yourself happy. You just need yourself, and you can do wonders in your life. It's called Ek Raat, and it's by Villain.
Wow, I love the message behind this song. So thank you for coming today. And before we talk with our second guest, we'll listen to Sakshi's favorite Indian song.
चुराया ही क्यों जब वो तोड़ना ही था दिल भी वो टूटा है जो मेरे पास नहीं दिखाया ही क्यों जब मुँह मोड़ना ही था सीने में हवा तो है पर वो सांस नहीं मेरे पास नहीं है कोई साथ नहीं है जो बता दे मुझे बात ये खास नहीं दिल उदास सही है कोई आस नहीं है पगली आंखों की नमी है ये बरसात नहीं कहाँ खो गया था जिंदगी भी मुझसे खफा हो गई जिस दिन की इस दिल ने खुद से मोहब्बत तो जिंदगी भी मुझ पे फिदा हो गई मेरे पास नहीं है कोई साथ नहीं है और ना है अब किसी का इंतजार कहीं तेरे बारे में ना सोचूं ऐसी रात नहीं है पर तू तोड़े दिल मेरा तेरी औकात नहीं था मैंने देखा ही नहीं खुशी पीछे ही थी खड़ी दबे ये हंसी दिल भी बोला सुन बावरे अखियों के दुश्मन, ना मैं कभी टूटा था ना खोया था कहीं, तेरे पास यही हूँ ये आवाज मैं ही हूँ, ये कहानी तेरी मेरी है ज़माने की नहीं, मैं धड़कता रहूं तू भी यूं हंसता रहे, दुनिया जाए साली बाढ़ में कोई परवाह ही नहीं।
Our second guest is Nimi Bedi. She is a licensed immigration advisor and came to share some information with us. Welcome, Nimi, to the IS Radio program. First, we would like to know where are you from, how long have you been in New Zealand, and how long have you been an immigration advisor?
I'm from India originally, and I came 17 years ago to New Zealand as a permanent resident straight away. So, but I tell you one thing, not only students get that cultural shock, on when people come on permanent resident, they also get the cultural shock, and I got it. It was hard to find jobs and all those things. We'll talk later. And your question was how long I have been in immigration advisory role. This is only 4 years. Yeah, before that I was into community advisory roles with the Auckland Council, and also ESOL teaching, which was sort of advisory again, because ESOL teaching is not only teaching, it is teaching plus advice to the new migrants.
Well, I'm sure that you have a lot of experience as advisor in general. So, first, I would like to ask you, as an immigration advisor, can you tell us about the most common situation that students or ex-students look for advisor?
Yeah, sure. Good question. Well, not only in my role, in my job, in my work as immigration advisor, but as a community volunteer, I always meet students and they are talking about the difficult situation when they have to change if they want to change the subject, the area of study. That's one situation. And second situation is, which is very common, when they actually unintentionally and out of ignorance, they jump into Section 61, which is they are unlawful in the country, and they didn't even realize that they're going to be unlawful. That's another situation. And third situation, which I have found the students get into, is low attendance. They really, if they fall sick, they don't understand that how important is the medical leave, and they should tell the college where they're studying, the education provider, they should provide that medical certificate. They don't realize the importance, and what happens is consequently they go lower attendance, and that is a big hazard.
It's something really that I believe some students don't really pay attention for attendance, and sometimes they face a challenge to get the other visas, like student work visa, because they don't really realize how important it is to attend the class, because we came here to study, and it is what immigration wants from us, to be at class and studying. Well, thank you for that. It's good to all the students to know. And would you tell us situations that can be avoided when before apply for a visa, the person have the support for an advisor?
Yeah, thank you, Carolyn, for asking this question. I hope it will not sound like I'm promoting immigration advisors that you must come to us. It's not like that, but professional advice does make a difference. Some students, I realize and I appreciate that sometimes they are really short of money and they can't afford the fee of an immigration advisor or a lawyer. But there are certain options which they can actually look at, instead of at least some advice they can get, like not giving the whole amount of money, or there are people working with a community heart which they can approach. And Yeah, the situations which can be avoided. First one is the Section 61 situation, which they reach. And I can give you an example. Someone came to me, a student, and he was trying to submit his own application online, which is fine. So he was confident that he will. But what happened is when he reached a credit card point, when he was to give his credit card details, his credit card was declined and he sat on it. And by that time, because it was only at the nick of the time, it was 11th hour, he was trying to submit. He was trying to submit his application at the 11th hour. That actually made the difference because now he didn't have time and it was 12 in the night and the next day came up. So the date changed and his visa expired. And he entered Section 61. But he didn't even realize. He was trying again and again online to do it, next day as well. And then situation came that he was asked by INZ that contact us, and he went into that. Then he had to come to an immigration advisor. He came to me, fortunately, and we helped him. But see, it was a situation which could have been avoided.
I know about some students that have been in situations that they didn't really understand the law and they had to face some challenge when they apply for their visas. And in the end, they had to pay a lot of money for a lawyer to help them. And that I believe in that kind of situation could really have been avoided if they had been in contact with an advisor. And that's why I invite you to share some of these informations to help other students don't face the same challenge in the future. So thank you for sharing that. And now we would like to know about your acting as a social agent that is always involved in actions and events that support international students and immigrants in general.
I know. The word social, community, society, people, that always resonate with my personality. Probably I have been gifted by God, if you want to say, or by my parents, if you want to say. It's in my genes, I think. So both my parents, they are now in heavens. Yeah, both my parents were so community-minded. My family, my son, my daughter-in-law, my husband, all are like a team in the community. And my husband is a JP, and he has been for the past 9 years, I think. He was secretary of a temple. So it's all voluntary service that we do. And I think every one of us should be giving back to the community. So, and I was so lucky when I was in Auckland with Auckland Council. I worked for 8 years as a community development advisor. And that was the role which actually triggered and gave me the insight to the community, how community needs, how we need each other. And that's my story.
Oh, thank you for sharing with us so many good informations. And I really would like to congratulate you for someone that is really into helping others. This is really important to all society to have people like you. And really thank you for to come today. Thanks so much, Nimi.
In fact, I need to say thank you, Carolyn, and thank you so much to the radio I'm talking to, Plains FM. And this has been really, really beautiful journey for me, talking to people. And today I'm talking to people through radio, this program. Great. And one thing I just want to say to the listeners, when you are in New Zealand, please try to learn some Te Reo. Maori is very important to learn, Maori culture, to know about Treaty of Waitangi. This will help you to enter the society and enter the New Zealand way of working, way of living, and that's the art of living. Thank you.
Such a good message to all of us. Well, before I go, I would like to ask you, all of you, contact us by email or by the Facebook page. Share your story. Be part of the I.S.C.A. Goodbye.